Ever since I was a kid, I was always underestimating my intelligence. And growing up reading books religiously and soaking up information like a sponge, my knowledge became vast and accommodating to all my years of school, making it a breeze. I'm 18, my name is Aaron Black, and I'm going to GTCC to be an airplane mechanic. You're probably wondering why a person interested in books and gaining knowledge is interested in being a mechanic, and the answer is simple. Remember when I said that I soaked up knowledge and information? Well, I learned that from older people. I believe that listening and learning from the elderly and those that have lived and taken ideas from their mindsets and experiences is a great way to start your life as a young person with the right step forward. All right. When I was in high school, I did a little case study for myself, and with this idea, I come out of a long relationship, and I needed to see what the next move in my life was going to be, so I went to Walmart of all places. You may ask why Walmart, but living in small town America, that's where all the elderly folk congregate, and I found this as a perfect opportunity to make my move and see what others were doing. And I gained a lot of insight on self-love, the importance of support from friends, and making sure that as a person I was stable enough mentally before I moved on to the next chapter of my life. Now, I didn't know any of these people before this, and I didn't know their backgrounds before I talked to them, but they are responsible for allowing me to become the best and most supportive person for my family and the people that I love. These ideas of self-love and equality amongst people gave me a stable basis to be there for everybody, Made me a better person, made me a better person for people, and it made me a better person to grow from. It gave me a good, stable base to grow. And if I didn't have my friends and my family there that I lovely dear, and I couldn't move on because they provide that solid basis for me to build off of, and it makes it really easier to make gambles in life. In consensus, you may fall a few times, but some of those gambles are going to pay off in the end. And if you're successful, well, you just have that to thank for you. And so, yeah. The places that you flourish from in America is my second point. It's like a unique fingerprint, a cultural melting pot in our backyards. And we have so many societies and cultures, and we utilize it in everyday life. But growing up the way I did in the Hispanic community, I learned a little bit from everything, and I've come to a conclusion that a diverse life is a happy life. I learned this idea from an old man in my local Walmart in Siler City. Being a Hispanic immigrant himself, he offered a lot of insight that I've never considered before. The way that Siler City is, there's a lot of social differences, but growing up in it, I've come to utilize the best from each. When you have this diversity from separate classes and social climates, it makes you think differently about politics. I've gained ideas like redemption over persecution, unity over separation, and give over take. These simple morals have changed my life and the way I've thought, and it's impacted the way I live every day. Life is a wealth of memories and triumphs, and downfalls are one of the greatest factors of shaping you. A reason that you learn to do right in the triumphs and not to do what you do in the downfalls. And in the end, the hope is that you make them the same, because in reality, no matter how successful you are, you're still going to have to try and break even in the end. For instance, Donald Trump is a very successful billionaire, and he's failed. And the truth is that failure is inevitable to success, and he knows that. And that's why he has multiple different businesses. And some of his businesses have failed, but some of them have made very, 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 very well. So, and I learned this in a very, very important memory in my life. It was when I was in middle school, when I did a stock exchange challenge over the year. In that period of time, my group more than tripled our original investment through small corporations of selling and trading. It helped me learn that this simple yet very overlooked aspect of business without any physical risk involved. Once I learned and practiced, over the years I got more confident with this idea and I started using it in my life. I've had my shortcomings and my achievements, but what I've learned is that the longer and the better you do and the better you get at taking risk and determining the payoff, the results get better and the payoffs get larger. In the end, if you take anything away from this speech, at least consider this thought. Listen to those who make mistakes so you don't repeat the same process. Don't be the person that something happens to. Just be this person that comes out on top in the end. Just as I learned from strangers, learn from me. And listen to people and soak up their advice, because you never know when it might come in handy.